Steve Robbins here. Welcome to the Get It Done Guys quick and dirty tips to work less and do more. I've been part of online discussions for more years than almost anyone else. Email can be the worst. An innocent comment can easily become name-calling and finger-pointing without making much useful progress. For almost 10 years, my Harvard Business School working knowledge article on email overload was the #1 Google hit for the phrase. Sadly, in the last year, everyone's jumped on the bandwagon, so I no longer top the rankings. But that doesn't mean that there aren't awesome things you can do to learn how to write email effectively. One thing I found helpful in learning how to write email without things getting heated is to keep it short. Most people don't read beyond their preview window, so a 20-page, well-researched, scholarly email, pointless, no one will read it. I limit my responses to 100 to 200 words of text at the most. That increases my chances of being read. But no matter how long my response after writing it, but before sending it, I scan it and edit it, so it's less likely to provoke strong emotions. When I'm done, I have a masterpiece of effective online writing, and off it goes. Eliminate personal attacks. First, scan for anything that could possibly be construed as a personal attack. Business email should never contain personal attacks. In fact, personal email shouldn't either. The thing about violence, even verbal violence, is that people don't tend to respond to it by saying, "Gee, I guess you're right. Now I want to open-mindedly listen to you." No, violence escalates, and anything that could be construed as a personal attack, even if you didn't mean it that way, can trigger a defensive response. When learning how to write nonviolent email, start by noticing what each sentence deals with. If a sentence mentions the person, rephrase it so it concentrates solely on the issue you're discussing. "Your hiring recommendations proves you're the office imbecile and deserve to be fired," becomes, "I have some concerns about the hiring situation." You're removing the personal attack, eliminating your revenge fantasy, and shifting from your hiring recommendation to the hiring situation. That way, you can frame your message as, "Let's us pals fight together against this tricky, evil hiring situation," rather than, "Let my right idea blast your wrong idea totally out of existence." Don't be personal. You'll only invite attacks in return. Once you've eliminated personal attacks, put your attention on something more subtle. Personal facts. If you're stating facts you expect the other person to know, speak in terms of yourself and your understanding. "You obviously never got the memo that our budget is only $5,000 this year," becomes, "My understanding is that our budget is only $5,000 this year." Also, check out my episode on writing good email subject lines. You're doing this to reduce the attack factor, but you're also doing this because there's an itsy-bitsy, teensy-weensy chance that they might be right and you might be wrong. If they disagree, you can ask to compare sources. "No," they write, "our budget is $7,000. You now write, "I'm puzzled. I thought it was $5,000. I'm going off the memo dated February 1st from Raja." They respond, "I'm going off the February 7th memo from Yukari." Guess what? You're both right. Now you can go find Raja and Yukari and get to the bottom of the situation. One thing people do all the time online is they throw out facts, quote unquote, that they found online, usually from a hysterical blogger who agrees with their views on a controversial issue, but who is disconnected from reality just enough to have no problem making up facts, quote unquote. When you're sharing facts and figures, make sure that you have high-quality sources. Even though we now have a substantial portion of the entire human race's information at our fingertips, I'm always amazed at how rarely anyone, including me, actually bothers to even do small amounts of research before opening their mouths. Don't make my mistake. If you're going to claim that a country just dropped its trade barriers so that you should expand operations into that country, spend 30 seconds on Google and verify the story. Oh, and please use high-quality sources. Don't quote hysterical blogger 318, your favorite Hollywood celebrity, or hearsay. Find facts and figures from nonpartisan sources or news sources that still have high journalistic standards. If the sources are online, include a link to the source in your message. As the gun control debate raged on in late 2012, to the extent that I participated in the so-called conversation, I included citations. I would put links to statistics from FBI.gov, the National Institute of Justice, and the Harvard School of Public Health in my posts. It didn't calm anyone down, but it certainly prevented them from mindlessly calling me names. Now, if only everyone had included actual data, we could have had a productive policy discussion. As it was, citations helped keep the heat level mostly under control, which is good because half of the participants were packing heat. Speaking of packing heat, it's the 21st century. You just might post status updates to the world that give your exact GPS location. That means they know where you live, and you never know when someone might go just a little bit wacko, which makes it even more important to keep your composure when they fly off the handle. Even if someone else starts to attack you personally with made-up facts that are really just ungrounded opinion, stick to these guidelines for your own posts. Keep it calm, level-headed, and impersonal. Check out my episode on how to write better emails. There's a link in this episode's transcript for details. You see, it's important to remember that when you write email or status updates, anything you put online is permanent. If someone takes a screenshot or saves a copy of the conversation, it could surface a few years from now and do all kinds of damage to your reputation. Everything you type online may someday be visible to a future employer, so treat it not as writing, but as publishing, no matter how private you believe the forum is. Once you've finished your reply, before sending it, make sure to add the little pleasantries. Put in a polite introduction, "Dear so-and-so." Add a nice little sign-off like "kindest regards" or "awaiting your response" or "your devoted servant forever." Though these can seem like a waste of time, manners do make everything go a little bit smoother. When you're communicating online, putting your best voice forward is important. You never know who will read what you've written or when. Review everything you write after you write it. Don't attack. Stick to the facts as you see them, and provide citations, politely. Stay polite even when they attack, and use good manners. That's how to write email. In a future episode, we'll explore how to be on the receiving end of someone who's trolling the internet for a fight. Peace out. This is Steve Robbins. Today's episode transcript, which includes links to my awesome article on tips for mastering email overload, can be found at getitdone.quickanddirtytips.com. I help executives effectively communicate by email or in person. If you want to know more, visit steverobbins.com. That's SteverRobbins.com. Work less, do more, and have a great life.